Before we get started, these postures are going to be standing, some just on one leg, and our focus is going to be opening the hips more so than balancing. So if you are working on your balancing practice today, I'd like to invite you to maybe relocate yourself either by a wall that you can maybe put one hand on, or a couch or a chair or something. Again, that's just if you find that it's maybe that you're working on keeping balance more so than working on the hips. So if you do find that, I'd like to invite you to maybe relocate to a location like that, but if not, you can stay right where you are, and we are going to start standing today. So if you'd like to join me at the front of the mat, feel free to do so. If you prefer to sit or lay down, again, listen to your body, find what feels good for you. Hands can rest by the sides, palms face up, or hands at heart center, and once you are ready, gently draw your eyes closed. And we'll take the next couple of moments to allow ourselves to arrive here and now. Begin to feel the connection of the ground beneath your feet. Maybe you gently sway the body forward and back, allowing your mind's eye to arrive where the feet meet the ground. Simply feel the connection and begin to let yourself arrive in the body through this feeling. And eventually slow down your rocks forward and back. As you slow them down, you eventually make your way to a stagnant standing posture. As you are here, once you make your way to standing still, gently lift the kneecaps up towards the hips. You'll feel the thighs begin to work. Gently pull the low belly in towards the spine as you begin to work the spine all the way up towards the ceiling. So stacking every vertebra, one on top of another, standing nice and tall. Crown of the head follows as it reaches up tall. And around this sturdy spine, sturdy back body, relax the shoulders down away from the face. Soften the chest. And relax your facial expression by softening the forehead, the eyes, and relaxing the jaw. Begin to feel into your breath. Allow the breath to travel in, and maybe you visualize on your inhales the breath traveling down the spine. On the exhales, the breath travels out the body from the low back through the spine and out the nostrils. Maybe you take a couple big breaths, visualizing this nature of the breath, traveling up and down the spine, the central axis of your body. You can visualize it simply as air flowing, or maybe like a bright white light, or any color that you choose. Allow this to be the object of your awareness. Feel the breath in your body. Imagine, visualize it traveling up and down the spine as you breathe. And we'll simply pause here with the breath for a couple of moments. Continue to breathe. You can breathe deeply or just your normal pace. If you'd like to let go of the visualization of the breath, feel free to do so. Continue to feel the breath in the body, though. Once you feel connected to the breath, to the body, gently allow the hands to float down by the sides if they aren't already there, and peel the eyes open. Take a couple moments to stay with the breath, though. Feel the inhales and exhales in the body, letting every other external and internal distraction fade to the background. And we'll start with our gentle hip stretches. So step the feet out to hips distance if they're not already there. All 10 toes point forward. Again, if you'd like to use a wall or some sort of prop for balance, please feel free to do so, as we're not trying to focus on balancing as much as we are for the hip stretches, okay? So on your next inhale, shift your way over toward the left-hand side. Maybe that right foot gets light. From here, you have two options. You can grab under the right thigh, or if you're feeling open in the right hip, in front of the right knee. So again, if you're noticing when you begin to transition to this posture that you're focusing more on trying to stay up, that's your cue to find some sort of prop, because right now we want to focus on opening the hip rather than balancing in the pose. So if you are, you'd put your left hand on some sort of prop and work on holding that right knee in towards you with the right hand. Pause for a couple of big breaths. Now as you're here, once you're lifted, whether you have the hands under the thigh or in front of that right knee, feel as though you're pressing that right hip down towards the mat. So notice here, sometimes we tend to lift that right hip up. Can you imagine like you want to point the outside of your right hip down toward the inside of your left foot? And we'll pause here for a couple of big breaths. When you do that, you should feel just a gentle opening in the hip a little bit more. Low belly pulls in. Let's take one more big breath here. Great job. On the exhale, we're going to stay lifted, but from here, we'll drop the foot down and then see if we can catch it with our hand behind us. Again, if you need your hand on the prop, feel free to do so. So the hand will be around the foot, maybe closer to the ankle. If there's no bind, you can always grab a towel, a strap, a necktie, and wrap it around your ankle and simply hold it in your hand. So if the foot is in the hand, you're going to pause here. Again, breathe deeply. Now we're going to exaggerate this posture just a bit. Can you press the right knee towards the mat and press the right hip forward? You're going to instantly feel the front of that right thigh begin to open up and the right hip. Couple more big breaths here. Breathe deeply. One more breath. All right, let's give our left ankle a break on the exhale. Lower that foot down and shake out that left ankle. We're going to do one more hip opening stretch on this side, balancing. So when you're ready, come back down with the feet on the mat. All 10 toes point forward. Shift the weight over to the left-hand side, and we're simply going to come to tree pose. So right foot lifts. You can open the knee out towards the side and either place the foot on the ankle, the calf muscle, or the thigh muscle. Please avoid pressing it on the knee, as that may compromise the knee, so find where this works for you. And again, we're going for this motion of pressing that right knee towards the wall behind you or the back of your mat. Low belly pulls in and up. Hands can rest on the hips, palms at heart center. You can grow the hands out like branches. Try to feel into that right hip joint and just that gentle opening by the motion of pressing that right knee back behind you. Let's take two more big breaths. One more. Great job. Exhale, slowly lower that foot down to the mat. All right, shake out that left ankle one more time. We're going to transition towards the right-hand side now. Same stretches on this side. So once you're ready, all 10 toes point forward. Shift the weight over towards the right. Maybe that left foot gets light, and your choice. Again, you can grab under the thigh or in front of the left knee. Again, if you need to balance on something, feel free to do so, as we're focusing on the hip stretch more than working on our balance today. Pause here, and again, we're going to find that motion once we're lifted of pressing the outer left hip down towards the mat, almost like if you had a little dot on your outer left hip that you want to shine towards the inside of that right foot. So pause here, a couple more big breaths, drawing the knee in towards you. Crown of the head stays lifted, shoulders relaxed down the back body. Stay with the breath. One more big breath here. On your exhale, we'll slowly lower the foot, and then maybe you can find that bind behind you. Again, if the hand doesn't make its way to the foot, you can use some sort of material to wrap around and hold in your hand. That's totally fine. If the hand has the foot in it, again, we're trying to work like we want to point the top of the knee down towards the mat. And in other words, press that left hip forward, but keep the low belly pulling in. Should feel a nice stretch on the front of that left thigh, so simply be with it, breathe into it. You got it, couple more big breaths here. Let's take one more big breath. Great job. On your exhale, simply lower the foot down towards the mat. And if you need to shake out that right ankle, feel free to do so. We're gonna do tree pose on this side. So again, feet hips distance, all 10 toes point forward. You're doing great. Shift the weight over towards the right hand side. And again, foot can be at the ankle, can be on the calf muscle, or it can be up on that right thigh. So wherever you decide to go with this, the motion that we're looking for is pressing that left knee now towards the wall behind you, but keeping the hips shining forward like headlights on a car. So we're not opening up towards the side, we're keeping those hips forward, but pressing that left knee back, finding that opening in that left hip. Hands can be on the hips, palms at heart center. You can grow them out like branches. We'll pause here for a couple more breaths. Again, if you're focusing more on balance, find a wall, find a chair, find a couch to put your hand on, and really just work into the hip today. 2 more big breaths. Doing awesome. 1 more big breath. Beautiful job. Exhale, slowly find your way on out of this. Take a big breath or 2. Notice how you're feeling. From here, we're gonna step our feet just wider than the mat. So take a moment, step your feet wider. I'm gonna face you, but I'm gonna keep my feet in about that same alignment. We're gonna do some side lunge stretching here to really work into the outer hip joint. So let's bring those hands to the hips on an inhale. And then on the exhale, go towards the left, and then we're gonna bend the left knee, and as we do so, we're gonna press the booty back. So the torso is almost gonna come parallel to the ground beneath you. So pause here, take a look down. The left knee should be stacked over the left ankle. If it's coming forward, you really want to press the booty back a little bit more. We'll pause for a couple of big breaths. If you want to shift where you're placing the hands, you can clasp the hands and place them on the left thigh and really kind of work into it. You'll also feel a nice stretch on the outside of that right thigh. Let's take 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. Great job. Hands back to the hips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, straight to the right hand side. So again, booty sinks back, bend that right knee now. Pause here for a couple breaths. Take a look down. Make sure the knee is stacked over the ankle. We're really drawing that right hip back. And again, if you'd like to transition your hands, you can clasp them and place them on the right thigh and really kind of work the chest towards that leg. That'll exaggerate the stretch on the back side, the outside of that left thigh. Shoulders relax down the back body, low belly pulls in and up. We'll pause here for a couple more breaths. Notice what you feel. 1 more big breath on this side. Great job. On your next inhale, hands to the hips, come on back to center. Exhale, step the feet in towards each other. All right, I got 1 more hip stretch for you on each side. Again, if you want to use a wall or a prop to balance, feel free to do so. We're gonna go to the number 4 shape with our legs in a chair posture. So feet hips distance, all 10 toes point forward. When you're ready, inhale, right foot lifts up and then cross it over the left thigh like you're making the number 4 with your legs. And then from here, we're gonna press that right knee back behind us just like we did in tree pose. The knee presses backwards and then maybe the hands come to the knee and the ankle and you kind of sink on back. So I'm going to turn so you can see another view of this posture. My knees staying stacked over the ankle and my booty shifting back, just like we did in those side kind of lunges. We're sinking the booty back and then pressing that right knee towards the mat. Again, if you need to hold on to something, please feel free to do so because again, I'm trying to get you to work into the hips more than balancing here. Let's take 2 more big breaths. 1 more breath. Great job on your inhale, slowly lift up and then place the foot on the ground, exhale. Let's give the other side a try. So again, feet hips distance. Once you're ready, lift up that left leg and then cross it on over, flexing the foot, placing the ankle over the right thigh. Once you've found your balance or found your prop, you can slowly sink down into it. And again, we're finding this motion of pressing that left knee back behind you. So we're really opening that outer glute, working into the hip flexor. Hands can come to the ankle and the knee, or if you're holding on to something, that's totally fine. Breathe deeply, and as you're here, again, the booty sinking back and the knee staying stacked as much as it can over the ankle. Let's take 2 more big breaths here. Can you sink down any deeper? 1 more big breath. Beautiful. On your next inhale, slowly lift up out of it. And on the exhale, set the foot down. Keep those feet hips distance. We're going to move into a nice, gentle forward fold to really open up the backs of the legs. So inhale, hands sweep out and around, palms touch. Exhale, slowly bow down. Inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, and exhale, we're gonna hang heavy here. So allow the head to drape down towards the mat. You can play around with how deep or shallow you bend the knees. Hands can dangle in the air or wrap around opposite elbows. Just find what feels good for you. Come back to the breath. Breathe deeply. If you'd like, you can even sway side to side. Just find a nice release here. Relax the back of the neck as much as you can. And again, can you feel the breath in the body? So simply let yourself be with the breath within. We'll pause here for a couple more breaths. Just let yourself feel what's going on in your body right now. One more big breath. If your arms are bound, gently release them down on an exhale. On your next inhale, rise up halfway, pull the heart forward, pause here and exhale. On the next inhale, bend the knees and slowly roll up, stacking one vertebra at a time. Whenever you get to the top, exhale and roll the shoulders down the back body. Once you're here, once you're standing, gently bring the palms to touch at heart center and draw the eyes closed. Take a couple big cleansing breaths, breathing in to fill the lungs completely with air. And exhaling, emptying the lungs fully. Maybe you take another big breath or two like that. And allow yourself to resume normal breathing. And visualize, imagine as though there's a beautiful white light that starts at the crown of your head and slowly passes down your entire body. As it does so, it relaxes every muscle, bone, fiber of your being, softening the edges of your body and the material that makes up your body. So visualize this sweeping down across the face, the shoulders, the chest, arms, back and belly, down the hips, across the legs, eventually all the way to the tips of the toes. Allow the body to soften towards the ground beneath you. So notice if you're holding any tension, relaxing those shoulders. And take a couple moments to, yet again, be with the miracle of the breath in your body. Feel the body breathe itself and just become a witness to the beautiful simplicity yet complexity of the breath within. And gently begin to observe how you feel right now. So draw your awareness to your mind, your head space. Notice how it feels. Draw your awareness to the body, maybe specifically towards those hip points. And again, observe, notice how it feels. Maybe you even become aware of your emotional well-being right now, noticing the emotion you feel. And then gently give yourself a smile. Really thank yourself for showing up here today, for dedicating your time to opening up those hips and simply being with yourself, showing love to your body and your practice. Thank you so very much for sharing your beautiful energy and practice with me here today. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.